Start here, and double murder accused Mandla Msibi's bail application has been postponed until tomorrow in the Nelspruit Magistrates Court. The former Mpumalanga MEC is facing 2 charges of murder, one of attempted murder, following a shooting in August. Now, yesterday, his bail application was postponed after a bomb scare at the court. His 2 co-accused have already been granted bail. Our reporter, Lindokuhle Xulu, joins me from the court to give us the very latest. So, Linda, we've had 2 full days, the middle day, of course, interrupted by the bomb scare. But today, Msibi and his co-accused absolutely disputing, saying they were nowhere near the shooting. What did the state finally get to today?
Well, Sally, we've made some progress, as you rightfully said. Just explaining that you've come at a time where the supporters of Mandla Msibi that you are seeing walking away from this place had just been addressed. They've been told exactly what transpired inside court. But the all-important detail is that they must come back here tomorrow morning, because that bail application is set to continue with arguments from the defense lawyer as well as the state. But I can tell you it was a progressive day in terms of the state's version of what happened. You did touch on it in your question, saying that the defense had denied that Mandla Msibi, as well as some of his co-accused and the people he was with, had any involvement in the shooting. And we were anxiously waiting to hear what the state had to say about some of the evidence that led to their arrest or request for them to hand themselves over. And I can tell you that the investigating officer, Boy Bila, who is a warrant officer, is the one that was on the stand. He was testifying. What he essentially said was that there is an eyewitness, 2 of them, that have placed the MEC or the former MEC on the scene. They've placed him as a person who had shot to the 1 person who was injured. So it's quite critical to understand that at this stage, the only evidence that is linking the former MEC, as we understand it, as we've heard in court, is the evidence of saying that he was seen by some of the eyewitnesses, some of the survivors who were with the group that was being attacked, shooting the 1 person who has since been injured on the foot, on the leg. But other witnesses, other accused who are with him, his co-accused, the 2 people who were with him in court, they have been spotted on the CCTV footage that the state and the investigating officer says they have in their possession, and it is some of the evidence that they'll be presenting when it comes to trial. So he did say that one of the things that's placing him and that's implicating him is eyewitnesses that are in witness protection that were part of that group that was attacked. And he says that they definitely identified the MEC or the former MEC as one of the people that was shooting in the direction of the person who is injured, and is the person that they opened the attempted murder case for. But let's take a listen to just some of the outcomes from the investigating officer explaining that part of how the former MEC is implicated in this double murder case.
Accused number 3 uvela la adubula khona fish mpila lokathi uyo dubule fish mpila.
Accused number 3 was the one who shot Mr. Fish Mpila.
It suggests really that there must be more to come. If the state is saying they have 2 eyewitnesses that believe they saw the MEC shooting at the injured person and not at the 2 people who died, it does raise the question of why he is being charged with murder as well. Does it suggest there's more to come tomorrow in terms of their case against him? I know it's just the bail application, but we're getting to hear quite a lot of detail.
Not at all, Celia. I can tell you that we are not expecting to hear any more evidence as to why he's linked, or any clarity of why he's being charged for the double murders as well as attempted murder, because as it seems the state's case is pointing towards the direction of saying that he was seen shooting in the direction of the person that was injured and not those that have since passed away. But what is clear is that everyone is holding their cards very close to their chests in terms of the evidence they have, because the investigating officer does say that he has the evidence, he has CCTV footage, he has witnesses that are in witness protection, but no way did he mention many of those evidences in a detailed manner, because he says that This is not a trial. This is a bail application. What is important to ascertain and determine in this particular process is to see whether they should be let out and stand trial or face trial while they are outside in the comfort of their own homes or wherever the state might order them to be. But I can tell you that one of the things that was being looked at is the issue of them, whether they'll be able to actually disturb witnesses, to intimidate witnesses, whether they'll be safe themselves when they go outside. The investigating officer doesn't believe that they'll be safe. He says that because this is a fight between Group A and Group B within the ANC, they know each other very well, and some of the parties, some of the factions might in fact be angry at the fact that they are released. The families as well were brought into the picture to say that they are not happy about the fact that some of their loved ones have passed away, and therefore they might also retaliate. The investigating officer says the safest place for them at the moment, he believes, is inside the prison cells. But also he spoke about the fact that they might as well be able to identify the two witnesses that are on witness protection because they are from the same party despite being on different factions. So the investigating officer believes that they must not be let out. Let's take a listen to him just explaining some of those details around why they should not be let out on bail.
There are two groups, go one party. Yeah, go one party.
Okay. There are two different groups in a party.
Singathatha party ANC.
I'm
Yes,
referring to
Mpumalanga.
the ANC in Mpumalanga.
Singabeka kulama groups, singabeka ukuthi kuna group A, kuna group B.
We can say amongst those groups, there's Group A and Group B.
So kule group la kubelonga khona labantu abashile emhlabeni ukuthi bona bacabanga kangakanani, because into efana nale involve as a political phakathi in a revenge, and revenge is blood ingadenze.
And from the group where the deceased belong, where it involves politicians, there's a revenge. So we will never know as what are those people thinking about.
So, Lindo, a great deal of discussion around the political ramifications of that. Just break down a little bit more the political side of this, because, of course, there was a lot of support for the axed MEC outside court today, and quite a strong security presence as well.
Yes, indeed, Sally. There has been a lot of support for Babu Mandla Msibi as well as his two co-accused. One of them, you understand, is in fact a candidate for being a councillor in one of the wards here in Mpumalanga. But I can tell you that inside court, it was quite clear from the evidence of the IA investigating officer that they themselves are of the view that these are factional battles, and as the ANC would like to call them in Mpumalanga, these are lobby groups that are at loggerheads with each other. And the investigating officer basically says that because of those internal battles, he believes that if they are let out of prison and if they are released on bail, that is going to cause more fights and it's going to disturb the peace in the public. But one of the things that I wanted to show you, it's unfortunate that the supporters have since left. As you can see right now, Linge will show you, the police are also taking off some of the fence that they used to cordon off this area. But along the fence, you would have seen what we saw earlier is messages on some of the placards and some of the messages that they've written on cardboard, essentially saying that this is not Gauteng. This is one of the placards I've written, and it also mentioned another member saying that this is not Eswatini. So it does seem that the people who are supporting Mandla Msibi obviously have come out and said that this is a smear campaign. They understand that it is an internal campaign to tarnish his name. But also in court, the very same messages were around that, not necessarily mentioning specifically who the groups are, but the investigating officer says this is a Group A of the ANC and that's a Group B of ANC, and he believes that there will be a fight if they are released, and that their safety might be compromised. But some of the supporters you see are still outside here. They've been very clear that these are factional battles internal to the ANC, and that they did not know that the gloves are off. So at the moment, the investigating officer holds the view that these particular political battles might disturb the peace in public and might see other lives being in danger, particularly of those that are accused. But I can tell you, Sally, that while we've been able to put the question of these factional battles and whether it or not they should in fact be given the much attention that they need and deserve, the Provincial Executive Committee of the ANC believes that there are lobby groups, and it believes that it says that it does not know at this stage whether this is some of those clashes between these lobby groups. But at the same time, we were able to ask the Premier of the province, Refilwe Mtsweni, about this, and she in fact just answered that yes, they do know that there are these factional battles because of heading towards the conference of the province. But she said that in her capacity as the Premier on that day when she asked Mandla Msibi, she said that she was there on official government business.
Yeah, and I can see the police packing away that razor wire, but I'm sure it's going to be just as secure tomorrow when we expect a decision. Thank you so much. That's our reporter in Nelspruit, Lindokuhle Xulu.